Tyler does the intros way better than I do.
Hey
It's nice
everyone,
when he's here.
welcome back to 22 Panels. This is the podcast that aims to examine, explore, and elevate the medium of comics. I am Tyler, and across the interwebs from me is Tad. Hey Tad, how's it going?
Hey, Tyler, it's so good to have you on an interview. You do so much better. You've got your radio voice. It like starts the show cool.
Yeah,
And we get to impress Josh Eiserike here
when I
and
was in
make him think that we're actual professional podcasters rather than a couple teachers in our basements.
when
Oh
I
wait,
was
you're in
in
the attic, aren't you?
I'm upstairs. Yep. When I was in college, I did college radio, and my show was called Sarcasm at Seven. And I literally would have to start it the same way every time, just going, "Hey everyone,
See,
welcome back to KQAL. This is Tyler on Sarcasm at 7."
See that I knew there was a reason we chose 7 o'clock as our standard podcast drop time.
That's funny.
You've got a history with it.
Yep. How's it going, Josh?
It's going great. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Josh, you were kind enough to send us Charm City, and I've already managed to forget the name of the other one. The
Very final last girl.
Last Girls. I've read them both in the last 24 hours. They're both very fun reads. And
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Very Final Last Girls is from
Darby Pop.
Darby Pop. So probably best bet, unless you have an incredibly great local comic store, is to hit darbypop.com.
That is correct.
He's shaking his head. Yes, I should remind him that we're audio only. So while we do lots of visual stuff, we have to then remember to describe it.
That is correct. Darby Pop. I think it's darbypoppublishing.com. Darby. I don't remember, but yes,
I can find out. We have this thing called Google.
I love that.
So tell me about that one really quick, because that's the
Sure.
one that people can pay you for now.
Sure. So, The Very Final Last Girls is an original graphic novel about the mostly girls who survive horror stories. Stories like Friday the 13th, like Nightmare on Elm Street, like Saw. They all come together for group therapy and then start getting picked off one by one. Pretty violent, but a lot of humor, a lot of heart, nods to all the classics without hopefully being too in your face about it.
That sounds awesome. I didn't get a chance to read it.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. I thought it had just the right amount of twists and turns.
Thank you. It's very much in the tone of Buffy.
My wife would love it. She has
there
been
you go.
reading Buffy trade paperbacks because the show ended, no, Charmed.
Sure.
I'm sorry. She was talking about Charmed.
Charmed.
Charmed ended, and they continued on with their season 10 in the graphic novel form. And, so she would love the
Jeremy
Buffy
Whitley
stuff.
was just telling, I guess me, because you weren't there, but
Yeah.
that it was Buffy that got him like seriously into comics and helped him discover Brian K. Vaughan,
Really?
who he then discovered other things from and went, maybe I want to write comics.
I was the opposite. Comics got me into Buffy.
Same.
That's pretty much, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Only I don't know that I'm even fully into Buffy. I've read enough of the comics because they were written by people that I either love their writing and or love them.
Sure.
It's like when good friends write things, you have to read them, that sort of thing.
Sure.
You remember
Or at
Tad,
least
before we
feel like
knew
you should.
him, before we knew Tom King, I was not a big fan of his writing.
no.
And then now that I know
You were
him,
afraid of our first Tom King interview.
yeah, and now that we know each other, I'm just like, oh, I love Tom King stuff. I got to read it.
I don't know Tom King, but I love Tom King stuff.
Well, and you were just in his neighborhood because I saw you were at the White House on 4th of July.
I was.
So was that a local trip or?
I'm originally from Maryland.
Okay, I was guessing that because when we get to Charm City, it's
Yes.
set in Baltimore.
Yes, Maryland. I was born in D.C., so technically not born and raised. Born in D.C., grew up in Maryland. I live in L.A. now, but we're spending the summer in Maryland.
Okay. I mean, when you were at the White House, if you looked around and there was a guy walking an old dog, it might have been Tom King.
Oh, cool.
Funny.
That's super cool.
Because that's his neighborhood.
Cool.
One of my favorite Twitter things he did was when he on January 6th posted the Capitol building during the Black Lives Matter
Okay.
and the Capitol building during the January 6th stuff,
Oh boy.
and went, can you see the difference?
Right. Right.
So, in case you hadn't figured out already, we don't shy away from politics. If you want us to, tell us to.
I grew up outside of DC. It's like sports for me.
It's in
Okay,
your blood.
good.
Yep.
It's in my blood. Yeah.
So
I actually just, you know who else grew outside? I'm tangent man sometimes. I
Sure.
apologize. We'll get into stuff. I
and
promise.
and then I'm always like, anyway, let's get
We
back
gotta
to
get back to right. You know who else grew outside of DC? Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
I did
yep.
know that.
Yeah,
I did know
Dave
that. I
Grohl
was
grew up
my
outside.
my wife and I were this will get super local. We were driving down Rockville Pike last night. She couldn't. Am I allowed to curse on this thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, great. Could not give a shit. I'm like, oh, here's where we used to hang out in high school. And I'm like, and here's the parking lot where the Foo Fighters played when I was 15 years old.
Right.
Like where Tower Rec. Yeah, no, like the way that like people see like like rare birds out in the wild. That was like, oh, Dave Grohl was at Blockbuster.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's a Virginia boy, but he would
Yes, he is.
sometimes venture this side of the border.
Well, I mean, my wife and I were listening to his book, so it sounds like he owes a lot of his music roots to the Washington punk scene.
Yep.
That
Yep.
his mother would take him to stuff, and when he was
Yep.
old enough, he was allowed to go on his own. His mom seems
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to read that book.
It's really good.
It's
I'm a
really
fan.
good.
Yeah,
It's really good.
my wife and I did we've got like an hour left because it's one of those that we do when we're both in the car.
Yeah.
But we did it the last time we took a longer trip. We just listened to Dave Grohl talk to us.
Do you know what the title
I
is?
love
I can't remember what it's called.
Again, I can find out. And by the way, I did find out it is just darbypop.com. If you
Great.
hit the store, it'll take you to darby-pop-publishing.square.site.
DarbyPop.com should work. The
The
book's
darbypop.com gets you to everything.
Gets
Yes.
you to everything. Perfect.
You only need that longer one if you want to skip reading about stuff and skip all the graphics and go straight to giving the money, which
Yeah.
Josh will be plenty happy if you do. The name of the book
Thrilled.
is The Very Final Last Girls.
Yes.
None of the other ones matter. I mean,
They're all
probably they're good,
Jeff-
but
Jeff-
they're not
Jeff
here
who-
right now.
Jeff, who is the publisher, is a friend of mine.
Okay,
I-
all of the
I
other
would-
ones matter. We like to plug friends here.
Sure. I will also shout out my collaborators on that book. Art by Z. Crockett and Andres Ferrero, and colors by Michael Woods.
Actually, since that was your first book,
Mhm.
give us the basic of how you got into comics.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, hi everybody. I'm Josh. So, as mentioned, I grew up in the Northern Virginia, Washington D.C., Maryland, Baltimore, Richmond megalopolis on the Eastern Seaboard, and since I was a little kid, I've always just been making comics, and when I was 10 years old, I got sent to the principal's office for publishing some underground comics in my class. In high school, I learned there was no better way to get girls to like you. This is sarcasm, of course, than by having them announce on the announcements that, hey, the new comic from Josh Eiserike is now on sale at the school store. A little sidebar to that, one of the guys I was collaborating with in high school on those comics went on to have a pretty amazing career as an animator. He wrote on Steven Universe, and he co-created a show called Craig of the Creek, which is based on my hometown. The guy's name is Ben Levin, and maybe one day these comics that we Xeroxed off of the school Xerox machine will be worth more than the $1 we charged. But yeah,
Do you have
so
them
I
still?
I do.
Have
I
you
just found
digitized
Craig of the
them for
Creek.
posterity?
I
Me too.
Anyway, so I've always been making comics, and then in I guess the mid aughts, I was doing a self published book with my best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and because I can curse on the show, I can say the title of the book. The book was called Assholes.
Okay.
It was a men behaving badly, Apatow esque raunchy comedy.
Perfect.
Which I drew it, he wrote it. We had no higher ambition with the book. At least I did. That I just want to do a project with my friend because it sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Unbeknownst to us, a producer, TV producer, picked up the book at Mocha, the show in New York.
Nice.
And
It's
a
on
day
my
later,
bucket list.
Mocha's great.
Yeah.
I haven't been in years, but I loved it. A day later, we got an email from this producer saying, "I read your book." We had no idea. Well, a producer bought our book. That's amazing. We read. I read your book. I laughed my ass off. Have you boys ever thought about turning this into a TV show? And this is audio, so people can't see, but I'm shaking my head no as I am saying, yes, we would love to turn it into a TV show. Again, like the thought never crossed my mind. Like this isn't stuff that like people who, and I know I just used this example of this kid I grew up with, but where I'm from, like people don't work in movies or television. They work for the federal government and that's that.
Well, or they join Nirvana.
They joined Nirvana and they moved to Seattle.
They joined
The name of the book, by the way, was Storyteller.
Storyteller.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So the next thing, and I had just moved out to LA to go to film school. So the next thing I know, like I'm being chauffeured around town, pitching this comic that maybe being generous, 100 people had read, but nobody knew that. And pitching it as a TV show. And the producer felt bad that he couldn't get it set up anywhere. But I'm like, I don't care. Oh, they gave me a free water bottle. Like, I feel like I'm an episode of Entourage. This is amazing. And he felt bad he couldn't sell it. So he said to me and my friend, how would you boys like, I'm doing the new G.I. Joe show. How would you boys like to write an episode? And we were like, we weren't allowed to watch G.I. Joe as kids. We don't know anything about it. And he was like, that's fine.
That's awesome.
So we wrote an episode of the show G.I. Joe Renegades. That was my first TV credit. Yeah. Yep. It was a joy to work on that. It was so fun. And then that led me to a television career. I mean, this is probably not that interesting, but some successes, some losses, some more losses, another success,
I mean, you've got some interesting titles at your IMDb page, and that's all one
Thank
can
you.
ask for, right? I mean,
exactly.
Super Friends with Benefits.
That was something that was a short film. Yeah. One day, maybe a comic. I still like that one.
I love that title.
Superheroes Have Needs Too, when up-and-coming superhero Equinox discovers his predisposition for dating his swarm enemy, the hot, sexy villain, only known as Syndra. It's up to his pals at Hero Inc. to keep him on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, the premise of that one was, you know how like Batman has that kind of on again, off again thing with Catwoman.
Yep.
It's like, well, what if you just had that with the entire Rogues Gallery? Like he was just really into villains. And it was fun. It was a fun little short. The one I'm most proud of is something that nobody's heard of. It was this the CW ran it as a TV movie. It was called Waragami. It was a martial arts comedy that was just so fun, and I don't think you can even see it anywhere. Like I don't even have a copy. But it was just
you got to get that into your contract, man.
Yeah, it was just a joy to work on. And it was fun. They shot it up in Toronto, and
my friend Chris was telling me that he has the only DVD copy made of the 4th season of *Halt and Catch Fire* because he saw the writing on the wall.
Wow!
And had them put it in his contract.
Wow!
Because he knew that it was only going to be put on streaming.
Yeah.
They hadn't even made that decision, but he could
You could
feel
see
it. It was
it.
like, no, this is my
Right.
baby. I want
Right.
physical.
I'm with him. I'm 100% with him. And my biggest TV credit,
You got to get into the contract.
my biggest TV credit was a show called Legacies, which was a spinoff of the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
And
That's how you got your Vampire Diaries pull quote.
yes. Yeah, Julie is awesome, and we can get to that too. Julie Pleck, the co-creator, showrunner of the entire Vampire Diaries universe.
Again, my
Like
wife
this
loves
is
it.
what I'm.
My wife
Well, there
is
you go.
obsessed.
And then you should. He shared with us the very final Last Girls, and clearly that's a book for your wife.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it and have her read it.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, she's gonna love it.
So all the while, I'm doing comics like on the side. Z Crockett and I did an independent book, early aughts. We met at the University of Missouri, and all the while, I was like, "Hey, I have this weird idea." This is in film school. It's like I have this weird idea about like girls who survive horror films. This is like 12 years ago at this point.
Right.
And very, very quietly, just making the book on the side. We were in no rush. And then through the years, like a bunch of different projects with either similar premises or similar titles, whatever popped up. And I just kind of learned to be like, well, actually it was my boss the first time it happened. Nunzio De Philippis, who he and his wife Christina have written on a ton of comics. He told me, like I said, I'm like, Nunzio, what do I do? And he's like, Josh, how many vampire stories are there? I'm like,
billion.
a lot. He's like, so there can be a lot of Final Girl stories. And I'm like, that's a good point. So this one's mine. And then another project got announced with the same title, a very similar premise. This was Grady Hendrix's book, The Final Girl Support Group, which I read. And of course, it's very different than mine, even though in premise it sounds similar, but it's a totally different thing. And it's great. And he's a great writer. And I was like, I'm going to kill this book. Like, it's done. Like, there's nothing I can do with this. And this was at the height of COVID, and I had lost my job on Legacies. And, I was like, wow, this really sucks. So I sent it to the producer who had hired me all those years ago off of that comic Assholes and Let Me Write on G.I. Joe, who was now running Darby Pop. And I was like, I'm going to send it to Jeff, and he's going to say, it's not for me. And that's that. And you know what? I can walk away and my hands are clean. A week later, I had a publishing contract. And it was such a, working with Jeff and Renee, the editor on that book, was such a delightful collaboration in that, like, he marked up the script, like, this line, you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to do that? And not in a way that was, like, this is what it's got to be, but like, hey, what about this? What about that? And I truly believe that the book is 20 times better for that experience.
We are a big fan of editors on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Renee.
We've had, I think, more editors than letterers.
Yeah,
We're
that's
also
cool.
a big fan of letterers. I noticed
Yeah.
that you did your own letter.
I was just gonna say, speaking of, you lettered Charm City.
I think
Did.
the only other person that pops into my head that always does her own letters is Alex DeCampi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that puts you in good company.
That's less out of ability. Like, I think and you can massage my ego if you want, but I think my lettering is passable. Like, it's not gonna.
I would say
I love it. I read
I
Charmed
don't know if
all
I'll
day.
go as far as say I love it, but it did the job of I didn't notice it.
Exactly. Like I'm never gonna win.
If Tyler noticed something, please bring it up. I didn't mean to talk over you.
Yes, please.
No, I just really like, it feels loose. It looks, I mean, it's not messy. It gives the vibe, it just gives the whole story a good vibe.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's definitely not unprofessional, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
yeah. As like it's not MS Paint with like Comic Sans and an ellipse tool. It's
Exactly.
like I took some time. I learned the basics, and I think
and you did some interesting things with balloons and whatnot. I mean, now that I'm actually looking, I can tell that you used a kind of limited palette in terms of like the tools for whatnot.
Yep.
But again, only now that I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
You did things like have text messages and have, changing. I mean, you did the basic stuff that you still have to have truly studied lettering
Mm-hmm.
to know matters.
Yeah.
You've got your bolded words. I did love that you put a soundtrack in.
I was just going to talk about that. Like at first, on the first couple tracks, I missed the lettering. I saw, maybe it's my own vision. I saw the QR code, but I didn't see the lettering next to it with the descriptor. So I got my phone out.
I think you were trying not to have it get in the way, but I do wish that you'd made it pop just a little bit more.
That is 100% fair point. And just for the listeners, we're now talking about Charm City.
Yes,
Charm
moved into Charm City. Give us the before we get too far. See, we're not a professional podcast. I cannot emphasize that enough.
I'm not,
which doesn't mean we're not fun. Hi, Mom. Hi, John. Hi, Britt.
We're up to
Doug.
three.
Doug
we're up to
apparently
4 now.
Sometimes too.
No, we've got good download numbers.
No, because remember we had 400 episodes downloaded by somebody in Denmark a couple weeks ago.
Great.
And
it was weird. It was just out of the blue.
Episodes download. Every once in a while, it's like somebody discovers us and they need everything. So apparently, the people that like us.
I love it.
Anyway,
and I'm just
City.
happy that
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll do this sort of quick pitch, and then we can talk about
we call it the front counter pitch. If you owned a comics shop,
great.
And you wanted somebody to take this book out of your hands,
I would love everybody to take this
without just saying, "Hey, it's free."
So, Charm City, it's a 5-issue miniseries from Scout Comics. Hopefully more on the way, but 5 issues, as Ted said, before we started recording, like it's like the story ends, but there's just a little, and I did this with Final Girls too. Like I tease, like maybe there's a little bit more. We'll see. It's a serial killer murder mystery set in Baltimore, but with magic. So the dumb X meets Y Hollywood pitch is it's a Jessica Jones type story in the world of Harry Potter. That
would be the dumb Hollywood pitch.
That would be the dumb Hollywood pitch. The actual genesis,
among other things, it feels more Veronica Mars and like Charmed.
Sure. So
a little bit. It's got a charm.
Don't you love my little? Here's my highbrow Hollywood pitch.
Right. But yeah, it's a serial killer murder mystery about a former witch and using witch not in the brooms and cauldron, but more like the Harry Potter subculture. People do magic, and there's a whole mythology, et cetera, who's estranged and had been excommunicated. And then bodies start dropping, and she's a music journalist. And I used to be a music journalist before moving out to LA. And so her brother comes to her and he's like, hey, you have connections to the police. You're a reporter. She's like, I write about rock bands. Like, I don't know that stuff. But he's like, people are dying. People are getting hurt. Nobody knows these are all witches. And then the first issue is very much about her deciding to take the case and figure out who is killing these people.
Yeah, I just found your Green Day cover and discovered that you drew it.
Yes.
So you're gonna have to let me buy a copy from you for you to
Sure.
sign and send to me.
That's funny.
100%. 100%.
That's funny.
I'm just looking at it, and it's Tyler. Have you seen it?
I've seen it on his Facebook.
Okay. This is so pretty.
Yep. I just saw that on your Facebook so I just sent you a friend request on Facebook. So if you get a Tyler Johnson, you'll know that's me.
Awesome. Yeah.
I love all the little Baltimore things too.
Yes.
Adnan's free.
Yeah. So Scout is actually doing this as I think it's a bonus cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know much beyond that. I'm like, hey, are we doing a print edition of the Green Day cover? And they're like, yes. I also did a Sex Pistols cover and a Rancid cover that I don't think are just going to be anything more than collected in the trade.
Okay. How is working with Scout? I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that have Scout books, and everybody says they're great to work with.
I had no problem with them. That was my experience. I know that there was a kind of a kerfuffle.
I was about to say Tyler's being nice. Everybody liked them for a while, and then everybody hated them for a while.
I know,
and now it seems like they've kind of pulled things back together.
That's what I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how is it?
It's fine. My story's different, and my experience is different because how I came to Scout is it's probably different than how most people came to Scout.
Mm-hmm.
So my day job is I'm a screenwriting instructor. I teach at the New York Film Academy. I teach screenwriting, comic book writing, any other class they ask me to teach. I teach. It's super fun.
I hate teachers here. We have a mountain of self-loathing.
I enjoy it.
We're teachers. Josh.
Yeah, I teach high school art.
That sounds fun.
High school special ed.
Yeah.
That sounds challenging.
The special ed, yeah. I don't know how Tad does it.
No, I'm just but so during the pandemic when I lost my job, I was pretty bummed, and I did something that I mentioned in the teaching. I did something that I tell my students never to do, which is enter a screenwriting competition. I'm like, yeah, it's a waste of your money. Like, like you're going to win. So what? You get a nice piece of paper, but it's not a job. So this was summer 2020. And I saw on Deadline, they were doing this thing called the Script to Comic competition. You got a screenplay sitting around? Well, enter it in this contest and, we'll turn it into a comic. And I said to myself, you're really depressed right now. Let's blow, what is it? What do we call it? The Trump bucks that they were just the government printing out the money.
Yep.
I'm gonna submit. I have a pilot script that I really like.
I totally forgot that he insisted that his signature be on them.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Even though it couldn't be on them as the endorsing signature because it's required by law to be the treasurer.
Yep.
So his signature was in the memo line.
Yep, I remember that. It's crazy. So I flushed I thought I was flushing some Trump bucks down the toilet, and I entered the screenplay competition, which they're like, yeah, we'll turn it into a comic book, and I'm like, yeah, or I could do it myself and hire an artist, and I'm going to do that anyway. But why not? I like the story, and I won, which was awesome. And so I got hooked up with Scout, and they paired me with Scott Van Dommel, the artist, who on Final Girls, like Z and I did it together, like we were friends. And then when Z had to step off the project, Renee, the editor, she was like, listen, I got this guy, he's great, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, Andres, it's great. But like this one, they were like, here's your artist. And I was real scared. And then the second I looked at Scotty's stuff, I was like, oh, he's perfect for this.
Mm-hmm.
And coincidentally, he lives in Northern Virginia. So not that matters, but when I was telling him about the book, it's like, oh, just go up to Baltimore, do some scouting. And I'm like, have you heard of Google Earth? Like,
I mean, sometimes it's more fun to walk around, get a feel.
And that's I mean,
don't get me wrong. It's because of Google Earth that my hometown wound up in a Chip Zdarsky comic. because Ramon Perez had never been there.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
But
Tad recognized the street.
it's a very unique angle because there's a diagonal street in Galena, Illinois,
Okay.
aptly named Diagonal Street.
Right on.
So it's a unique angle down a hill at an angle onto Main Street, and there's a
That's
light
cool.
post on the corner and that sort of thing. So I mean, I've walked down that hill a few thousand times in my life. When I saw it in
And
the
it's in a
comic, I'm
comic.
like, I pulled up the Google Earth and sent the side by side to Ramon K. Perez, and I'm like, is this real? He's like,
Yeah.
probably.
Probably. Love it. I love it.
That's
I love
funny.
it. Yeah. So that was how Charm City came to be, and then I adapted this pilot I had written into a 5-issue miniseries. So which is a long way of saying, like, my contract was likely very, very different than many of the other creators who had worked at Scout. And yeah, look, I mean, there was a period of time where the communication was a little lagging, but it wasn't ever non-existent. And I read some of the. Sorry,
I mean,
go ahead.
What I've said a few times on air at the time as everything was blowing up is that comics doesn't actually bring a lot of business people in. It brings in comics people who happen to have enough money that they can think about making a business. And like everything I was hearing went, oh, this is just a poorly run business.
Right.
So I hope that they figure out how to run their business, and there's still hope that they'll be able to turn things around. Hopefully, better still, they'll start making things right with some people.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're turning things around, and that's good to hear.
So, and I have no idea, and because they have a new corporate sponsorship, I have no idea if this is that. I have no idea if this is the stuff blowing up.
Alex DeCampi pretty much blew that out of the water within hours of it being mentioned. It's like go read her thread. I think she put it on both Twitter and Blue Sky, but essentially it's a prop corporation.
Got it.
Actually.
Got it. Well, only speaking for myself.
Sure.
Yes, there was a period where communication was never non-existent, but there sometimes were some lags, and I maybe had to poke people, but that's normal anywhere. Where in any business where they got a million books to put out, whatever. Since all that blew up, I will say the communication is awesome. The editor who I was originally working with has since left the company. He was great. Joshua Malkin, he was wonderful, and he was wonderful for the book, and totally got what Scotty and I were going for, and was very supportive. And now we have Nicole DeAndrea assigned to the book, and she's been amazing. And just like, I really don't have anything bad to say other than I'm sorry that people had shitty experience.
And that's really good to hear, because it indicates to me that maybe they did, prop corporation aside, like look at the things that were really issues.
Sure.
And reassess them. It'll also be interesting, probably off the air, because I hate like slamming people, but it'd be interesting to talk to you from 6 months from now, because a lot of what we wound up hearing, mostly off the record, because again, we like to elevate comics, so we're getting deeper into like the weeds on iffy stuff than I normally do, but had to do with how they promoted books and how they build it.
Sure.
So there were
all I know is they are printing my Green Day cover. I am thrilled.
Exactly. And that's and that's, I mean, that's also like, there's something to be said for getting a credit. I know that there's not everything to be said for getting a credit, but when you have the printed thing in your hand, to use as proof of ability to the next guy, that
Yeah.
matters.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, we have seen Oni completely turn it around in the last 2 years.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they
Sure.
went through similar issues. So you know, I mean, I go nuts not to join the dog piles, but also to be wary of all corporations because I've spent enough years working at them to
Sure.
Right.
know that they think very differently than we do.
My philosophy is I can only control, and it took me a long time to get here. This was also a lesson of the pandemic. I can only control what I can control.
Exactly.
My wife is also a therapist, so that has been
helpful. That's helpful. Yeah. And it took you until the pandemic to learn that?
Yeah, because I work in television, and
I'm just thinking that she takes her ethics as a therapist really seriously. Then
she does.
She doesn't treat her family.
No, she does not.
Until the pandemic.
She does not.
You probably figured it out, and she was like, "Oh, Josh, finally."
Pretty much. As an aside, and this is aside. I don't know if any of y'all saw the show Shrinking, the Jason Segel thing.
I've heard about it.
It's great. He's a therapist who basically just breaks all the ethics. In the pilot episode, she loved it. In the pilot episode, she goes, "Oh, I know exactly how this is going to end," and she was right. She was right. Anyway,
well, so she could probably be a screenwriter.
She could. She has no desire. No.
You know, I've heard that that's what most sane people.
Yes. Yes. But
I mean, now knowing enough screenwriters and comic writers, I mean, most of the people I know that do both are like, if I could afford to just do comics, I would, because that's only mildly insane.
Yeah.
Rather than like
there's
falling off
the
face of the earth for 6 months every couple of years or so.
I'll spend 6 months of my life writing a screenplay, and it's a screenplay, and it's great. I'm proud of it. It could lead to work, and they're great, and sometimes they get bought, and even then, it doesn't mean you got a movie.
Right.
But a comic is a comic, and that that's
sometimes
my
it gets
first
even crazier when it is made. Because of this podcast, I've become close with Christopher Cantwell, and watching the evolution of The Devil in Silver to now the third season of The Terror, The Devil in Silver, and all of the has made me go, if there was ever a part of me that thought that it might be fun to write and run a TV show, that's officially dead now.
That's true.
It can be. It certainly can be, but to the point of comics, like, Charm City started as a pilot script, and it got me staffed on Legacies, and which was great, but it wasn't getting made, and then now it's a comic, and it's made, and it was in the back of my mind. It was always a comic, like what I've been reading.
Fun. They just pay as well.
Yeah, I've been reading comics, since I was 11 years old. Like, you can always smell when it's like, oh, this is just a proof of concept for a TV show, and for a movie, and like, they're usually bad, but when it was like, oh, I'm turning a script into a comic, I'm like, okay, I have to put TV aside because it's got to work as a comic. I have to think about like page turns and the 5-issue arcs and the cliffhangers, and it's got to be its own thing.
Right.
So how?
No, actually, another one of those companies that we don't talk about anymore. And when they went bankrupt, we found out that they'd spent way too much money on their Hollywood side and way too little on their creative side.
Right.
When I started to wonder was when like 2/3 of what was coming out, I'm like, this doesn't feel like a comic anymore. Right. They were still doing some great comics, but like, they'd gone from a company that like it was almost worth picking up anything they put out to 2/3 of what was coming out, it's like, no, this feels like a pitch document.
Yeah.
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 So hopefully Charm City did not feel like a
It
pitch
it did not at
No,
all. It did
no,
not. I
no.
was actually surprised to discover that it was originally a screenplay, because it flowed really well as
Thank
a
you.
comic.
Yeah. I loved it. How did you pick the music tracks, for the soundtrack?
Some
I
of them
spent
were
way
obvious.
Some of them were obvious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I spent too much time thinking about it. There's a moment in issue 2, and I know where I use a Weird Al song, and it's so incongruous.
Can
and
I say what the song is? Because I love that. I love that song. It was Yoda, right?
It was.
We won't talk about the scene, but I was hoping that you'd bring that up because that was the one time that you had to then write it into the comic.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that the reason she's listening to that song at this moment that makes no sense is explained. Right. I think in issue 3. And that was in the pilot script, like that little because like I was a music journalist. I wrote about music. I'm a huge music nerd.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of it was like I spent because it should be like, it doesn't matter what the song is, just pick something cool that captures it. It's like, no, what's the song? What's the song?
I was
that's how I
feel.
feel.
Place where I didn't have the energy / wherewithal to like listen to music as I went through. Something that I definitely will do because I make playlists to go along with comics.
Do you remember that Jeff Lemire book where he had a playlist at the end of each issue?
Oh yeah, Royal City.
Royal City. Yeah.
I've done it with the soundtrack.
I think Brian Wood, Ryan Kelly, local. Each issue had a soundtrack.
Yep.
What's the furthest place from here? I think they do those like limited edition like records.
Yeah. No, I get those. I have many of them. For that matter, Brian Wood and Becky Cloonan's what was the book before Luke didn't do Becky Cloonan? Why can't I remember it right now? That had some really ridiculous underground punk soundtracks.
I love that. Anyway, I love the way that you did it though, with a QR code for each track.
I actually saw that T.I. was going to do that in a comic. Like that was announced. Like I don't remember what the comic was, but I was like, "Oh, cool! Somebody else is doing that." Like I think that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No.
I was going to say Demo is the Brian Wood.
Demo, yeah.
Comic.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with the intersection of visual art and music.
Yes.
And I have a friend who works I don't understand what he does, but it's with computers. And he was explaining to me that there's a way to do the QR code stuff where you don't even see the QR code, where you just point your phone and like it's sort of embedded in the art and it will take you to the music.
God, that'd be so cool.
That is cool.
I don't understand how any of this works. He tried to explain it to me and it went right over my head. Ted,
I can understand a little bit about that.
Did you catch the QR code in Final Girls?
I think I did.
Did you go there?
I haven't yet.
So I snuck a QR. I don't know why I do this. It's so stupid. I snuck a QR code into there. A lot of people see it. Most people are like, "Wait, what?" But if you click on it, it takes you to bonus content.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had some fun there.
No, I mean, I'm going to be revisiting, if for no other reason, the soundtrack, and now I'll have to go do the bonus content too. Just because I am also fascinated by the among other things.
Yeah.
And Tyler's heard this way too many times. So Tyler, if you want to go make coffee or whatever, because I'm boring you, I will understand. I think comics are the perfect medium. I don't think that there's anything you can't do with a comic. I think the only thing that puts any bounds on a comic whatsoever is your imagination, and, and anything you say is impossible. Somebody else is going to figure out how to do.
Yep.
The thing that people bring up the most as a counterexample to that is music, and I immediately
Sure.
direct them to Z2 Comics and specifically to Dave Chisholm and Enter the Blue or his new Miles Davis book.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a book by do you know Palomino by Stefan Frank, another LA guy. He works in
Okay.
animation, but he's got it's like a noir or LA noir set around the Palomino Honky Tonk Bar
Okay. This
from
sounds
the
awesome.
80s, and like you can feel the music coming out of it. Um for our pulp blotter, our crime book club, Mark Prott and I read Alex Campi and Victor Santos's Bad Girls for this
Okay.
last weekend,
Sure,
and
sure.
there are like 5 or 6 songs that either get sung and you see the lyrics,
Hmm.
or come out of the radio, and like one of them didn't land right, and the other ones, like, it was perfect. You could hear the music.
Hmm.
Um, and this is all my long way
Sure.
of going. Where I'm impressed with your music knowledge is I have a ridiculous music knowledge, and
Hmm.
I think I only was able to hear one song in three. You were
Mm.
using enough music. Now, admittedly, when I sold music for Best Buy back when Best Buy was actually a place to buy music.
I bought music at Best Buy back when
Right.
Best Buy was
I,
a
I ran the biggest music department Best Buy had in the country
cool.
for like 2 years. I had one day where I literally, it was the day after Thanksgiving. I spent the entire day in the back room because it was the year that for our doorbuster sale, from 6 a.m. to noon, all CDs normally priced $14.99 or less were $4.99. So we had been bugging them all month.
Right, right,
We're going to need replenishments. We're going to need a crap ton of replenishments.
right,
Don't just send us a million copies of Titanic. We need
right,
catalog replenishments. Everything. We are already known as the best place to go buy music in Chicagoland.
right,
Billy Corgan shops here.
right.
We need.
Like it's funny you say that. As a kid, like I knew that if I wanted to find like Smashing Pumpkins singles or B-sides, I was a big
Right,
Pumpkins fan. Go to Best Buy,
right,
not Tower Records. Go to Best Buy.
right. So
That's where
at
I would go for
3 a.m. in the
Prodigy
morning,
singles.
yeah,
Nice.
we had all of those. 3 a.m. in the morning, I got a phone call from work because a truck that we didn't know was coming had shown up. An, an entire long truck filled with bins of CDs. 144,000 CDs.
I love all of this.
The most of any single title was 22.
Wow.
So me and my buddy Joe literally spent the next 36 hours sorting CDs
Wow.
on the back table, throwing them on carts to go out to the floor.
Wow.
They brought us food. We had stacks on either side of the room of, oh my God, I've never seen this before. Put it there. Oh, I want that. If you see another one, I get it.
Right.
We
That's
each had
awesome.
like stacks of 50 at the end of this that our manager pennied out for us. So we literally like took $1 out of our pocket and paid for 50 plus CDs a piece.
I love it. That was the joy of being a music journalist, was just showing up to like I didn't make much money, but you show up to
Right.
work and just a stack of free shit every week.
So that's
It was
my
great.
way of saying I was very impressed that I think there was only a band or two that I didn't know, but probably only one song and three here in my head.
Cool.
So now I really need to listen to the soundtrack.
Cool. Well, I will say this, and I should just take the compliment and move on. By issue 4, I was like, why did I do this? Why? I've already gone through the songs I knew. Like, why am I still doing this?
Funny.
Same reason we make mixtapes.
Exactly.
Do you know how excited I was when Shelley Bond told me she had a tape deck?
Oh, that's
She
cool.
liked to listen to music on cassette tape.
Nice.
I
I
went
still
out
buy.
and bought cassette tapes and rehooked up my tape deck so that I could send her a mixtape.
My wife thinks I'm crazy. I still buy CDs.
Oh, really?
I do sometimes too. I've got like I don't do this often, but we're gonna you've
I
earned it.
appreciate that.
Uh,
Oh, I love everything about that.
Yeah, Tad, your den down there has
I
got
had to build
so
my
much
own
stuff.
shelf, my own shelf for the CDs.
That's all.
There's a couple thousand of them on the wall
Yep.
there. At this point, I buy way more vinyl than CDs. I'm so glad that
Same.
vinyl is back.
I buy
Sure.
a lot of vinyl.
Um,
One of my
I
favorite.
have finally started streaming just because and I hear that Spotify is as good at it now, but Amazon was the first to get good enough at it that they're the ones that I paid for. In
Right.
terms of actually
See-
being able to find what you wanted to listen to and make playlists and whatever.
Right.
I do Apple
But
Music.
that being
and that's been
said,
pretty
I
good.
also have no.
Apple
Don't
Music.
get me started on Apple, man.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know
Apple,
that was a
period.
sore subject. I didn't know.
um, but I also still have my hard drive that has my entire CD collection
Right.
ripped.
Right.
Has the entire CD collection is like every friend I had when I was 25
Sure.
ripped.
Sure.
And has like so many quasi-legal and or legally downloaded live album track. I mean, I have,
Sure.
and mind you, because I'm an audiophile, and therefore, yes, I can tell the difference between a lossless recording and a low rate
Right.
MP3. And I also know that I can't tell the difference when I'm listening on my car's speakers
Hmm.
because the speakers aren't good enough.
Right.
So if I want perfect sound quality, I play a record.
Right.
And if I want digital music, I want the smallest file possible.
Right.
So I have my entire collection in like 96 kilobit Windows Media Audio
Okay.
because that was better than the MP3.
Sure.
And it takes up almost a terabyte.
Right.
And that's still my preferred way, except that people don't even have CDs anymore. I can't make it used to be like my standard Christmas thing is I just made everybody a CD.
Yeah.
It was cheap, but they also know that I spent half an hour to an hour on them going, this is what I think you'll like.
Right.
And
Well,
I was right most of the time.
I will say that Scotty, the artist on Charm City, is also a musician, which again was
Okay.
fortuitous. So and he's a lot cooler than I am. So by virtue, the book is so much cooler than I am too, which I'm just like, great. I love it.
But that's my long way of saying that's why you put yourself through it, because you probably spent almost as much time in your youth as I did making yourself mixtapes, making other people mixtapes,
Mhm.
making mixed CDs.
Yep. Exactly.
Dad, I think you froze.
Technology, because my years at Best Buy taught me that early adopters pay a significant premium
Right.
and get to have all of the bugs. I had one of the first CD burners out there.
Oh.
Wow.
It's like, wait, make myself CDs? Yes, please.
I was out to dinner with an old childhood friend last night. I mean, I haven't seen this guy in years. And one of the first things he said to me was, "Oh, that mixtape you made, Camp, summer 1997. Do you still have that? Can you put it on Spotify? Or are we going to get arrested if we do that? Because I can't buy that. I want it." And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't even know what was on it anymore.
Right.
For a long time, I took like meticulous care of all of my playlists so that I could.
Right.
But that was like 3 computers ago now.
But to the point in the question, I for sure spent more time than necessary thinking about that when I should have been thinking about like, oh, what's the next comic? No, I gotta get the soundtrack.
Though
Well,
I do, and I'm just scrolling right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I came across one of my favorite choices of yours because it's the least obvious choice and let me. This is even issue 1, so I can ask specifically.
Sure.
The last page of issue 1.
Yes.
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
The Patti
Is a relatively
5.
obvious choice, but you picked the Patti Smith version,
Yep.
not the
Yeah.
original, not
Yeah.
the Tori Amos, the two that most people would immediately go to. I
Right.
do know the Patti Smith version. I love the Patti Smith version.
Yeah, it's good.
I have theories on why you chose it, but I'd like to hear yours.
Without giving too much away, because it's the cliffhanger to the first issue. It's a serial killer murder mystery, so you can probably guess how the listener,
Right.
probably guess.
There's a murder. We won't say who,
There's a murder.
but there's a murder.
There's a murder. And I wanted it to be shocking, and maybe it's too many of these trailers where they just like slow down pop songs and make them real creepy. Like I love the Beetlejuice teaser where they have the Deo song. I don't even remember what that's actually the name of the song. It might Banana Boat. Thank you. And they just make it like real creepy with like kids singing it. I was like, I want something kind of like downbeat, morose that would just be like, oh shit, that's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I spent way too much time thinking about this, and then I landed on the Patti Smith cover of Teen Spirit.
Yeah, I think that what kicked that whole craze off was Karen O and Trent Reznor with the Immigrant Song.
Yeah.
Which is so
good. Yeah.
So good. Yeah. But yeah, no, that is the movie trailer thing, isn't it? The slow down. But Tori would have fit that too.
I'm not a big Tori fan.
Okay.
Like, it's like I like
simple as that.
Like I prefer like one of my like my favorite Tori Amos song is the Jawbox cover of Cornflake Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Versus like I had nothing against her, but it just never clicked for me.
Okay. I love Tori, but a better, nerdier answer is going to be that Tori's piano is just too pretty. And
that's true.
The roughness of Patti Smith's voice and the guitar make it fits the messiness better.
I'll take that. Great.
Yeah. So there's my gift to you if anybody else asks that question.
Great.
The Melvins also have a cover of it on one of their albums.
They do.
That's pretty interesting.
Actually, you're a music geek, so we're going to go off on a quick music geek tangent.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some of my favorite music geek questions.
Let's
favorite
do it.
Cover song.
Fuck. I'm going to think of 12 others after this.
Name
I'm sure,
all 13 if you want.
The one, the Get Up Kids cover of Close to Me is fucking awesome.
It is good.
Okay.
They Might Be Giants, New York City. That's like one of my all-time favorite songs, period. And like, I think it's like when They Might Be Giants they're one of my favorite bands. Like their covers often surpass the originals. Like Istanbul was not an original to theirs, but it's like their signature song.
That was actually going to be my next related question.
Yes.
A song that you don't like the original, but love the cover.
Ooh.
It can't even be you think the cover is better. There are lots where the cover is better. One where you do not like the original.
That is a good question.
Like the cover.
Can I go? And
yes.
Yeah.
I would say Hurt by Nine Inch Nails.
So you like the Cash, but you don't like the original.
Yeah.
I like both.
Okay.
I like both.
And my favorite is actually the live version with Reznor and David Bowie.
Okay.
From the tour
I'll have to find that because I haven't heard that before.
I can hook you up with that.
Okay.
Do you still have a CD player? I can make you a mixed CD for the next time you're in town.
I do have a CD player.
Cover better than the original. Fuck, man. Come back to me.
Okay.
Come back to me. Like
I actually have two.
Okay.
I have two. One is the hands down winner.
Okay.
I find Sting's version of I Hung My Head almost unlistenable. And Johnny Cash's version is a masterpiece.
Got it. Oh, I have a cop out answer.
Okay.
They might be giants. Their cover of Tub Thumping.
Yes.
See, I like the original.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
the original.
Yeah, see, but I guess I like the original because I know the history on the original.
Sure. Sure.
I love that, like, it was a very non-pop band that deliberately made a pop song
Sure.
so that they could get themselves on the radio,
Sure.
so that they could get themselves into radio interviews, so that they could talk about their workers' agenda.
Right.
What I particularly loved is when they were on tour, they would find the workers' issue that was most relevant to whatever city they were in.
Right.
So if they were in Cincinnati, they were talking about a strike in the Cincinnati area.
Right.
Even though they were from England. So I appreciate
I'll
that.
give you another low hanging fruit. And I actually don't think the original's a bad song. It's just I don't like it. It's just not for me. This would be the Fountains of Wayne cover of "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Okay, good one.
I'm sure. Like before I go to bed, I'm gonna come up with better answers.
I think Weezer did a cover of that too, and it wasn't that.
Actually, if you haven't listened to Weezer's Teal album,
I have.
Their album of covers, it's really fucking impressive.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I could probably fill a 3-hour podcast just about Weezer.
I was just gonna say, what are your guys' thoughts on Weezer lately?
Weezer's a fascinating band.
Yeah.
I love Weezer.
Still, I love them. I love them through the Green album.
Blue, Pinkerton.
Yeah.
Everything Will Be All Right in the End. White Album.
Okay.
Half of Maladroit.
Okay. That's all you like. Okay.
See, I think there are individual songs from any one of their albums. I think they're fun live.
Yeah, they are. I love seeing them live.
Yes, their most important music was the first two albums, but that's true of so many bands that it's almost. I mean, one of the things that makes a Tom Petty or a Neil Young or a David Bowie so amazing is that they can have a 9th or 10th album that is as relevant as the first and second album.
Right. There was I forget who said it. It was a music critic in the Washington Post. I forget who wrote this, but I think around when Weezer's Make Believe came out, they said, "Good news and bad news, Weezer fans. The good news is there is a great album in Weezer's future. The bad news is it's their greatest hits album."
Right.
And that still feels kind of
true. That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like, how to put it? It's a job.
Yeah.
So, I don't begrudge anybody not.
I read an interview.
One of the different. Go ahead.
I read an interview recently with Rivers Cuomo, and he kind of admits that not everything should have been released. That they put out, because they put out so much stuff,
Right.
Well, I somewhat appreciate that. I think the difference between John Lennon and Paul McCartney and why John Lennon went insane and was only barely coming back to being able to be a musician and a human being at the same time, whereas McCartney was always able to be a human being and a musician at the same time, is something McCartney said, I think, to Uncut, probably, it was my kids were young, so like 15 years ago. He did a long interview with Uncut, and they asked him, what he thought about the new albums. Like, it's amazing. It's the best thing I've ever done. And they're like, Paul, you were in the Beatles. He's like, yeah, but this is what I think about every new album. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
And I don't have to be my biggest critic. And I might think of it completely differently 6 months from now. But you know what? This is my job. It's my passion too, but it's my job. And people are willing to pay for it. You don't have to. My ego is not tied up in whether or not everybody loves this album.
Right.
However, my ability to pay my bills sometimes is.
Right.
So, and beyond that, why make it if I'm not going to put it out?
Exactly.
I mean, one of the greatest things I think, I mean, the band that I literally grew up with, where seemingly every album they've put out, including the newest one, is like the perfect album for me at that age.
Sure.
Is Pearl Jam.
Oh, sure.
And one of the things that I love about them is for the last, 25 years now, they've put out almost every concert.
Yeah.
There is a ridiculous amount of Pearl Jam music
Yes.
out there. And if you don't want it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're absolutely ape shit for it, it's there.
Go there. Yeah. I mean, he's like, I want to be the Grateful Dead. It's like, awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Everybody said we couldn't do it. They said it would kill our album sales. And we're like, but will it? Really? Will it? Okay, we'll start our own record label and we'll find out. And we'll either be the dumbest people ever or the smartest.
Right.
Well, you can look at the jam bands that do that and see that kind of marketing works.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, overexposure works. I'm trying to think of who I wasn't into jam bands, but
the Grateful Dead took forever to even think about selling their own.
Right.
Right.
But it certainly profited them because there were more people at shows because they could tape them.
Yeah.
The thing about art is that the only money you ever really lose is from people not knowing you exist.
Right.
I mean, this isn't like me condoning piracy, though I have a very mixed relationship with it. I think artists have generally benefited by piracy. I think it's a toss-up whether their corporate overlords have. I think that for every comic that gets downloaded, there are 3 that get bought years in the future that wouldn't have been bought.
Could be.
I hope
because
so.
that person wasn't still into comics. I mean, just think about the evolution of when you have money.
Yeah.
Right.
You have disposable income when you're a kid, and then when you're in your 30s. So all those things you love when you're a kid, if you can't find a way to get them cheap for 10 or 20 years, you're going to find other things to spend your money on.
Yeah. I was in college during the Napster boom.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I mean, most of those albums that I got on Napster, I wound up buying anyways because I loved them and I just wanted.
Or I mean, even the ones that you didn't, were you going to buy them?
Probably not, and I probably deleted them. But
right.
As an adult, especially working in entertainment, like I'm more, I guess, anti-piracy, but not in a way that get into the ethics of like the corporations, but like pay the artist.
Yes. I mean, I'm the biggest proponent of find a way to pay the artist, particularly if you like it. But I also, think that when there's any bar at all to people being able to decide whether they like your art,
right,
that's how you lose money.
Right. Well, and this is something. So, like when I teach comic book writing, my students have to read comics, and many of them have never read a comic before in their life. And I always say to them, I'm like, listen, this can be a very expensive habit. I get it. There's a library. There's Hoopla.
Big fans of libraries. I'm big fan. We're reading One Piece right now, and we're so happy that the Shonen Jump app, the Shonen Jump subscription is $3.99 a month.
Great.
$3.99 a month gets you a ridiculous amount of manga.
Yeah. And like I always have like one student who's like, well, I found the comic online, and I'm like, we talked about this. That's pirating it. Like, just go to the library, go to the comic book store. Like, it's not hard. It's not hard.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be the one that said, did you like it? Go find a way to pay them.
Yeah.
Do they have
sure.
a Patreon?
Yep.
Do they have? I mean, because that's my other thing is, at this point in my life, I think I spend as much on Patreons and Substacks as I do on comics, and that's not on accident.
Yeah.
Uh but but you still got to find a way to move the money around.
Yep.
I mean, what I will say is that, for any comic that I have acquired by quasi legal, and I always call it quasi legal because almost everywhere you can get it has big fucking things that say press this button to tell us to take it down. If the companies wanted it down, it would vanish. I lived through that with music. There'd be something that was there one day and gone the next because somebody had pressed the button, and nobody running a blog wants to deal with a cease and desist letter. It's like, oh, cease and desist? Okay. But if I like it, then I'm watching for their next.
Well,
or I'm buying it,
I'll put this
or
out there. I'll put this out there to anyone listening who's like, this Charm City book sounds interesting. I don't know if I want to spend, $4.99. Come find me. Find me. I'm very easy to find. You can
hook you up.
I'll hook you up.
I'll tell you, it's going to be worth it. It's totally worth the $4.99.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Anyone listening to this, please.
Totally worth the $4.99.
Yeah, I think the whole series is perfect. I can't wait to see what's happening
Josh
next.
sent me a whole run, and I'm almost certainly going to be at least paying for the trade and possibly paying for it earlier.
I'll be buying it. It's coming out in issues, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll be
well,
buying
and I'll pay you handsomely for a Green Day cover.
Sure.
That's awesome.
As long as you scribble on it.
Sure.
Before I have to jump off, guys, I did want to ask you, Josh, was this your first foray into lettering, or did you letter your previous book as well?
So all of my previous books, I've lettered.
Okay.
And this goes back to the strips I was doing in college, and I wish I could say, oh yeah, I watched a YouTube tutorial and that was it. No. When I was in college, my first strips, before I even figured out how to use Photoshop, I was printing off on my inkjet printer. I was, or bubble jet or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Printing off probably in Comic Sans. I was printing it off and cutting it and taping it on the page.
I love it.
And it looked terrible. Terrible. And then over many years of like, I'm doing it in Photoshop. And then when I got Final Girls at Darby Pop, the first question Renee, the editor, she had was like, "What are you lettering in?" And I was stupid. I was like, "Oh, this is this font that I bought. I don't even remember what the font was called." And she's like, "No, what program are you using?" I was like, "Photoshop." She's like, "Don't do that. Use Illustrator." And then their graphic designer worked with me for about an hour, just talked me through it, and that has made all the world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did you go back far enough that you did hand lettering first, or have you always been the?
I mean, in elementary school, sure.
Okay.
But it looked terrible. Like I have terrible hand. I can't. The whole point that I'm doing my own lettering is just so, A, it keeps the cost down a little bit.
Yep.
A little bit, not a lot, but and B, like I'm so meticulous with dialogue that I'm always going in and I want to cut this. I want to change that. Tweak that.
That is
like,
definitely the single biggest complaint of letterers. They don't even care if you pay them to go back. It's like you messed up my schedule.
Yeah. The project I'm working on now, and I'm happy to chat about that as well. In fact, I'd love to.
Yes, please.
So I'm working. This is awesome. I received a grant from an organization called the Jewish Writers Initiative. I'm Jewish. I didn't even know that was a thing. It was like a targeted Facebook ad I got one day. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I can make this. It's like for digital media. It's like, well, comics, great. So I applied. I had an interview. I got the grant. It was a fellowship. It's been a total joy. Just getting a bunch of money to make a comic.
Right.
Which is great. So I hired Tina Ritchie, who did one of the variant covers for Charm City. That's how we met. I use met in air quotes because this is all online. And she and I are doing it's probably going to be about a 150-page graphic novel. The working title right now is Pale of Settlement, which was essentially the old west of Eastern Europe, where Jewish people were forced to live, and I'm doing like a fantasy adventure, like very, very much like I grew up in the 80s and 90s, like all those Amblin movies were like, kids on bikes with flashlights, like looking for monsters. This is kids on horses with lanterns in the 1880s looking for monsters. So that,
I immediately thought of, and you've already gone away from it, but have you ever read Michael Chabon's Gentlemen with Swords?
Of course. Of course.
Or Gentlemen of the Road.
Gentlemen of the Road.
Sorry, Gentlemen of the Road.
Original title was Jews with Swords.
Right, which he calls Jews with Swords.
Yeah, yes. Chabon's another big
he's
fan.
amazing.
So Tina and I did a sort of a short comic that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about yet because this is her project. She reached out to me. She's like, "Hey, you want to write something? I'll draw it." I was like, "Yes, I would." And on that, when she was sending me pages, like all of my notes were like, "I want to change the lettering here," and I'm just like, let's make this easier on you. I'll just do the lettering. Like that way you're not going back and forth dealing. Because like my notes to the art was, and it's the comic is a little about music. So one of the notes was, it's an autobiographical comic. There's a scene where I'm at a They Might Be Giants concert. So the note is like, oh, he plays left-handed guitar. So it should be, it's literally, she just cut, paste, flip. Like the art notes were so minor. She's really good.
Right.
But I'm just like, oh, I should say this instead of this. And it's just like, I'll just do the lettering. Make your life easier. But yes, this project will hopefully be launching digitally sometime later this year.
Cool.
And I'm very excited about it.
Well, I mean, you're totally welcome back to talk about it because
thank you. I would love that.
You've put up with a million tangents because I've been in a particularly tangent night tonight.
Sir, the tangents were about music. Like that is
they're fine.
I get it, but I always feel bad when I feel like I talked for anything more than a quarter of the episode, and I think today I was probably closer to half.
You're good.
You're fine.
You're good. Well, do you have other questions about Charm City?
Well, I think we're definitely going to bring you back for the spoiler-filled Charm City. That's the one downside of having read all of it.
Reading it ahead of time. Yep.
Yeah. So take his front counter pitch. I'll even do the strict front counter pitch and try to leave movies out of it. You've got magic and mystery, music, and just fantastic art. Baltimore becomes a character, so anybody who knows Baltimore at all will enjoy that. I don't know it well, but I know it well enough that I was able to feel the Baltimore-ness of the comic.
I was just out there in August.
I would have liked another, like a serious Orioles shout out because I'm a baseball guy, but
Right. Yes, I'm actually I'm an O's fan, and for me, just this is going to sound weird and esoteric, but like purple feels more mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens, like it's the most literary sports mascot.
I did enjoy the fact that there was I guess it was the other book that there was a shout out to the head injuries in football.
Yeah.
I worked dementia care for a decade. I can't watch football anymore.
Right.
All I see is like, oh, they're gonna have serious brain issues in their 40s and 50s.
Right. Well,
I grew up on the '85 Bears. We've already lost 3 players, I think, to suicide related to their traumatic brain injuries.
You
don't want to talk to Jim McMahon for more than about half an hour if you want to keep any of your childhood memories of Jim McMahon. I
just like for Charm City, I like the fact that the Ravens mascot is from a horror poem.
Right.
In fact, when I don't know if you caught this, when they go to the witch club, it's called the Lenore.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, is an homage to. Edgar Allan Poe's from Baltimore, and I
Yes.
think that aesthetic is cool,
Yeah.
especially in like a modern setting. And one of the notes I had for I'll mention Lorenzo the colorist was like, when in doubt, purple, like purple, purple, purple.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I want this book to be purple.
Which worked really well. Worked really well.
Yeah.
Again, from the aesthetic standpoint, there didn't need to be more Orioles.
Yes.
Though, I mean, I will point out, I forget which Howard Chaykin book I was reading lately, where he wrote it, but somebody else did the art, where there were an awful lot of Cubs caps.
Mhm.
And to look it up, and I'm like, oh, guy's a Cubs fan. The book was coming out in 2016, and
Right.
it was set in Chicago. So, I mean, there could have been a couple. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. If I ever get to
Just
do
being a
volume
geek.
2, you got it.
Yeah, if you ever get to volume 2, just like walk by the ballpark.
Do you have volume 2 planned? Like what it's going to be about?
I have the basic idea of the story.
Okay.
And I am totally at peace with if volume 1 is all there ever is.
Yeah.
The story's complete.
Yeah.
Do you have the rights? Would you be able to do it elsewhere if Scout didn't want to go, or did that have to be?
That is a good question, which I'm not sure I would be able to satisfactorily answer, if that's even the correct word.
Well, see, that's something you should have learned from George Lucas. Sequel rights.
Well, it gets
and merchandising if you can, because that's apparently where it's at, and then
Right.
make Star Wars.
Right. This is not Star Wars. I'm
No. Actually, I would say that it would fit in relatively well. I'm gonna throw out a reference that might only mean anything to my dad and brothers.
okay.
Do you know Ben Aronovic?
I do not.
He does a series of books called The Rivers of London. They're
Okay.
like magical mysteries.
I'm into this.
It's a little bit. I mean, the main character's actually a police officer.
Okay.
But there is a music element. His dad was a jazz man, so there's like jazz that goes on. And at this point,
I need to check this out.
it's I want to say 9 novels and 10 graphic novels.
Awesome.
Is he does both comics and
What's the title one more time?
Rivers of London is
Rivers
the name
of
of the
London.
series.
Okay.
And the name of the first book.
I am going to read this.
Yeah, no, I'm not completely up to date on it. But I'm a big fan. And yeah, it looks like it's we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 10
Yeah, there it is.
11 novels and
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm into this.
they're on their 11th they've done I think actually the 12th comic miniseries is just starting from Titan. Titan Comics does the comics. So yeah, no, at this point they've blown the universe up enough that there's like prequel short stories and or a prequel series of comics, and it's there's kind of a Wizard Moriarty type
Cool.
that's out there, but then like most of the stories are actually more about a different case. It just winds up relating to the Spaceless Man. Yeah, it's actually even been long enough since I have been in the universe that I don't want to like misspeak about it in any ways. But yes, if we happen to have any Rivers of London fans out there, and that goes for my brother Adam, who did I tell you this, Tyler? My brother Adam started again from the beginning and has been listening to all of our episodes at like 1.5 speed.
Oh.
And is at like he's like 100 episodes in now.
Oh my God.
So he'll get to this sometime next month.
Funny.
at the pace that he's going.
Funny.
So Adam, when
'Cause
you
how many-
get to this,
You have done all the interviews, and that's 170 some. And then
yeah,
plus
and then
our
we've got the
weekly
book
episodes,
clubs.
we're at 140 some.
Yeah, the last time I actually added it up, we were at 439, but I think we've done maybe as many as 10 since then. So we're probably coming up into the 450
Yeah.
area for total episodes.
Good Lord. All right, guys. Well,
Because
I'm
insane,
I have
Josh.
to
I
jump
like
off, Ted.
talk to people too much. Well, okay. Then do you have like 5 minutes? Because we prepped him on this question earlier.
Okay.
We're going to ask him the last question, then you can stop recording,
Okay.
and Josh and I'll talk for a few minutes or whatever.
Great.
So you actually got prep.
Yes.
A comic that you love
Yes.
that
So-
not enough other people have read.
I changed my answer halfway through this podcast.
I love it.
We got so into the weeds with music. I'm such a music fan. I want to highlight Freddie and Me, a coming of age Bohemian Rhapsody by Mike Dawson.
Okay.
If any of you have never read it, it's
I
delightful.
haven't. I love it when people manage to give me stuff that I haven't read.
I'm at my parents' house now. I have it in the basement here. I'm not gonna run down and get it. But it's just a memoir about how much he loves Queen and Freddie Mercury, and it's great.
It does look like it's out of print. The Amazon paperback is $31.77, but
You can get it used. I saw for like $1. I looked
that's
at
what I was about to say. But user collectible from $1.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
so the dollar one is gone. I'm just telling people now that the dollar one is gone. I just proceeded to check out.
Dad, you probably did, didn't
Oh,
you?
like $6 shipping and handling.
No, only $3.99
Oh,
shipping
okay.
and handling.
All
So
right, that's worth it.
506 total with tax.
That's
Well,
worth
I
it.
hope you enjoy. That's the book I'd like to highlight just on the subject of music and comics.
That's
Well,
awesome.
and I feel like I know Mike Dawson from something. What has he done?
I don't know. It's not.
He's like back when I would go to Mocha, he was always just kind
Oh,
of
you
like
know what? I haven't read any of his books, but I follow his Substack. That's how I know Mike Dawson. So this might give me an excuse to reach out and have him on the show too.
Sure.
He has one of my all-time favorite short comics. I don't remember where I saw this, probably on his Substack, where I think it's him, and fuck, if this is somebody else, I apologize. I think it's when he shows his kids Jurassic Park for the first time. It's just a little short comic that is delightful, and I hope that's him.
Did they, like my kids, root for the dinosaurs?
They rooted for the dinosaur. That's funny.
I have to look that up. I just need to know.
All right.
Out of curiosity, really quick before Tyler takes us out, what was the book that you switched from?
One of my all-time favorites, indie comics, Box Office Poison, from the 90s.
That I have on my shelf right here.
Alex
Alex Robinson, fantastic.
This was the book that I was like, wait, I can do that. I can make a comic.
I love
and
Alex
that's
Robinson.
it's such a delightfully layered story with wonderful characters, and he does things with the panels that just blew my mind. But it was in a way that was like so accessible that like, and look, I love the X-Men. Like I look at an X-Men comic and like, I don't know how to make that, but I look at Box Office Poison. I'm like, oh, okay, I can tell a story that hopefully moves people emotionally. It was. This is gonna sound weird, but as when I was a teenager, reading that comic was very similar to the experience of watching Clerks.
Yeah.
In that,
Yeah.
oh, this is what a movie. This is what a movie can be. It doesn't have to be this giant epic thing. It could just be people hanging out, talking about Star Wars, and in a way, that's kind of Box Office Poison too.
Yeah.
They're just hanging out talking about Star Wars.
Pretty much.
And I am ride or die for Alex Robinson. Like whatever that man publishes.
Oh God, yes. I need to listen to his podcast
The Star Wars one
or the Godfather one.
I haven't listened to.
He
either of
goes
those.
through both of those movies at like a minute at a time.
Yep.
Funny.
I've heard great. Somebody else brought it up. Another one of the creators brought it up. The last time Alex Robinson came up on the show with a creator, somebody's like, "Have you listened to the podcast?" I'm like, "I know of the podcast," and he's like, "No, you need to listen to it." So one of these days,
I got to check that. All right. I'm sold. I gotta check that out. I'm a fan of his comics.
right?
Likely, I'll be a fan of his podcast.
All right, Tyler, take us out.
All right, guys. Thanks for Josh for being on the show. Tad, people can find our Patreon out there. If you like this show, throw some money our way. We would love it. But anyway,
like and review. We're supposed to say that too.
like
right?
and review us. Yep. Yeah.
Only 5-star review. Well, I don't give a damn. If you want to give me a 1-star review, if you give me a 1-star review, you better write. Don't just review Bob about.
Yep. You better have a reason. All right. So we'll catch you guys after the next page. Later.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.